Hey guys, Emily here. Today I wanted to go ahead and do a kind of squat clinic video for you guys. I'm going to go through different variations of squats. And to begin with, I'm just going to kind of talk about how you want to have your stance, how you want to distribute weight, your core, all of that. I hear a lot from people that they don't like to do squats because it hurts their knees or whatever. It's bad for them. Their doctor says it's bad for them, whatever. Most of the time, the reason why it hurts is because you're doing it wrong. There could be other things going on, but a lot of times it's just because it's being done incorrectly. So the squat is a very important exercise. It's one of those exercises that carries over into your actual real everyday life, which is a really important thing to consider when choosing exercises to do, is how is this going to help me in my everyday life? Not just lifting and doing exercises to make pretty muscles, but how is this going to help me in my everyday life? So the squat is one of those things that you do kind of constantly throughout the day, getting up and down from a chair, in and out of your car, up and down from the toilet. If you're a parent and you have young kids and you're on the floor a lot, you're getting up and down from the floor. So lots of things. So I love squats. My clients all do squats in some form or another. They know it, they hate it, but they do it. So I'm gonna start you guys off with the basic squat. So something that you have to figure out what's gonna work for you is your stance. Some people do okay with a stance that's hip width, other people do better wider stance. So it depends on how it feels comfortable for you. If you're taller, a wider stance is probably gonna feel more comfortable than a narrower stance because you're just not gonna get the same range. So you're gonna choose your stance. I like to go a little bit wider than hip width apart. Depends on if I'm doing my heavy squats or not. So you get your stance. And then the next thing you wanna think about too is your core. You really wanna make sure you keep your core nice and tight. This does bring your core into it. It's a compound movement. You're getting multiple joints. You gotta keep the core tight. And then the other thing is a hip hinge. A lot of people like to squat like this. That's not it. Your knees are gonna hurt because you've got a lot of pressure on your balls of your feet, so it's a lot of pressure on the knee joints. So you wanna make sure you've got a hip hinge. So that's kind of, you wanna imagine a wall back here that you're trying to press your butt back to. So you can have your hands here, you can just have your hands at your side. I like to just keep my hands up here. It doesn't really matter. So you're gonna go back and come on back up. And when you're coming back up, you wanna make sure that you're evenly distributing the weight pushing up on your whole foot. So not just on the heels of your feet, not the middle, definitely not the balls of your feet, just even weight distribution. And now some people would say it doesn't count unless you're going ass to grass, which is butt all the way down to the floor. If you have that ability, cool, great, go for it. It's definitely beneficial. If you don't have that ability, don't worry. If you can at least just get parallel, you're good. And then the other thing to think about too is how your head is. You don't want to be looking up, you don't want to be looking down. You want to have it looking straight forward because you want your neck and your spine, everything to stay nice and in line. Okay, so that's the basic squat right there. Now, a variation to that I've had some clients do that have a hard time with the hip hinge is a box squat. So if I was in the gym, I'd be using a bench or a plyo box or something like that. So since we're here at my house in my garage, I've got this nifty stool that my husband uses to work on things. So I'm gonna use this. So you're gonna do your same stance, think same thing, tight core, but this is gonna help you because you're gonna tap and push back up. So this helps you with pushing your hips back to sit down onto something like a chair, and then you push up with your feet. So not only does it help you with that hip hinge, but it also really helps with the pushing up and going evenly throughout those feet. So that's the box squat. So again, you can use a stool like that, you can use a chair, your couch, whatever you want to do. If the stability is kind of hard, then I would say use a chair with arms. If you're not used to that and maybe you don't have the same strength in your legs or your core, and use the arms to help you, but try not to push up on those arms. Okay, got my list here. So then the next one is a sumo squat. So this is also a good one if pointing your toes, pointing your toes forward during the squat doesn't really work for you. Sometimes it helps if you just flare your toes out a little bit and it helps you get more of a range. This does bring in your abductors a little bit more, which is fine. You're just probably gonna feel it a little bit more out here than you would normally. But the sumo squat, your toes are turned out. Again, same things you wanna think about: core, hip hinge, all of that. And then you squat down like that. So again, you're still pushing up, but sometimes this can be a little helpful for people to push up more evenly. So again, it's all about finding what works for you. The next one is a split squat, which is kind of like a lunge, but they call it a split squat. This one is really good. To me, I really like it for really targeting your quads and also really getting your upper glute here. So you're gonna put one foot in front of you, one foot behind, as if you're lunging. So here, here, and then you're gonna go down and push back up. And you're pushing up with this front leg here. And when you push up, you really, if you focus, you can really feel it back here. And then you're really gonna be feeling it in your quad, in your other leg. And you wanna make sure that this knee is not going in front of the ankle or the toes. You wanna have them nice and stacked, and then you wanna control the back leg. You don't wanna just be dropping down. Okay, then after this one, we've got the single leg squat, which is probably one of the toughest ones for most people, which again is a really good one. So you can, actually no. So typically I'd be doing this with a TRX or a box or something like that. So if you're not used to single leg squat, these can definitely be tricky. So you can either have your leg out in front of you, you can have your leg behind you. If you don't have anything to stabilize you, your leg behind you might be better. And you just squat down, come back up. So your range is smaller. If you have it out in front of you, you might be able to get a better range. So this one again is really tricky. It's really great for developing lower body strength. And if you have something you can use to help stabilize you, like some kind of suspension system, I highly recommend using that. But definitely try the single leg squats. The next one is a squat, more of like a plie squat with a heel lift. So you're gonna go a little bit wider than you normally would. Squat down, and then lift a heel, come back up. Squat down, lift a heel, come back up. Squat down, lift a heel, come back up. That one's just kind of fun. And then a squat with a side kick. So if you have any kind of mini bands like this that you want to add to this, it'll really get more of a burn for you in those hips. So you do a squat, kick out, squat, kick out, squat, kick out. So that simple. And then if you want to get your heart rate up a little bit more, you could do a jump squat. Squat down, jump up. And then the last one's a surrender squat. This one's kind of fun if you're a parent. This is a good one because it'll help you with getting up from the floor with your little ones. So the surrender squat, you're gonna start on your knees. You're gonna have your hands behind here. You're gonna bring one foot up, then the other foot up, come up, squat back down, one knee down, other knee down, and then again. So hands here, one leg up, second leg up, come up, and then back down. So that one's kind of a fun one to do too. And then that's it. That's what I've got for you guys. So try all those, see what you like, and mix it into your workout routines that hopefully you're doing at home. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment or message me.